We are winding down today, Dr. P.
We
It's
are
getting
indeed.
close.
Yep, close.
We're
close.
over that hill.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at our 3 o'clock hour, we've got some interesting guests. We have a student coming in to talk to us.
Terrific.
And I think you're going to have a lot of fun with that when he gets here. But just like we've done every other hour, I thought I'd give us a little recap of where we stand and what we're doing. We have had a total of 88 gifts today.
That's fantastic.
So that's since we started this morning at 8 o'clock. And that's great. We have, for Give Day, raised $23,048.
Wonderful.
So really excited about that. Now the good news is we still have a match out there.
Okay.
So we have put a little dent in it, but that $5,000 match from the Finley family with all-weather roofing,
Okay.
we still need to raise $3,300, and then we can collect that $5,000.
All right.
So that's going to up our total a good bit, and I hope we do that in this next hour.
We'll get there.
And so I'm confident we will. I'm just ready to go on and get there right now.
Sure.
We still have the Cammy's Old Dutch half-gallon a month ice cream incentive out there for whoever gives us the next $500 gift.
I can't believe that that's still out there.
I can't either. I mean, Cammy's, it's a $100 value.
Yeah.
And Cammy's is everybody's favorite
Right.
in town. I mean, Old Dutch has been around forever. We have a Meat Boss $50 gift card for the next $300 gift.
I can't believe that one's still out.
I can't either. We have given away a lot of Whataburgers today because every family that makes a $50 donation or more gets a Whataburger sandwich card for everybody in their family. So we've done a lot of that.
So literally hundreds of Whataburgers have been...
Literally hundreds of Whataburgers have gone out the door. We have 2 participation matches that have been issued by parents.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Cassis that have issued one for the senior class parents.
Okay.
And they're going to provide a pizza party at lunch if they have 100% participation. And the Etheridges have done the same thing for the sophomore class.
Great.
So we're excited about that. Now, I think I understood from the Etheridges that the Finleys with all-weather roofing are also in on the incentive for that sophomore class.
Terrific.
So I think we've got a little momentum going over there.
Good.
Anyway, just lots of exciting things, and I'm going to go back and work on a thing for the next hour. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise when we start the next hour.
Okay.
But we have some guests that just showed up.
Great.
And so I'll let them come in and talk to you, and I'll go back to the books.
Wonderful.
We probably need to tell everybody about the how to give, though. We've made it as easy as we can this year. That would be text SLES Wildcats. That is case sensitive, so that's capital SLESW, the lowercase Wildcats. All one word to 76278. That's 76278. They can donate with Venmo, and that's been really popular today. We probably had our most gifts come in through Venmo than any other way, and that is at St. Luke's-Episcopal School. And if they need a PIN number for that, it would be 3981.
Do they always need a PIN number?
No, and we're getting several messages from people saying, look, I went on Venmo, would you double check and make sure you got it because it didn't ask me for a PIN number. Literally, we've had quite a few people ask that, and we have all of their gifts.
Sure.
So for some reason, it wants some people to give a PIN number and not everybody, but it's at St. Luke's Episcopal School, and that's PIN number 3981. And they can always call Tracy Taylor. She's had a couple of phone calls out there, 251-591-5774, and just give the credit card over the phone, and she'll enter it, and we'll add you to the total.
Terrific.
Looking forward to talking to some more people.
Great.
All right, talk to you later, Dr. P.
Yes, ma'am. All right, gentlemen, come on.
Good afternoon, Dr. P.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
You as well. Nice to see you. Mr. Estle. So the distinguished guests that we have this hour, Mohammed, who is to my right in the current SGA president.
Yes, sir.
Also a member of the class of 2021.
2022.
2022, that's right,
Yes,
2022, my mistake. And then next to him, Doug Estle, who is our upper school director. Did you know, Mohammed, that there is a trophy in Mobile that is given to the winning team between Murphy and
Alma Bryant.
Alma Bryant High School? They play football. and the trophy is the Doug Estle trophy.
Wow.
I finally got my name on something,
Yes, sir.
Doug, explain how that happened.
The principal last year at Murphy and the principal at Bryant, I've known both of them, but he got to doing calculations, and he said, it hit me that for 22 years, when Murphy and Alma Bryant lined up, you were on one or the other sidelines as an administrator. In fact, my first year in administration was the first year Bryant would have opened. So
Wow.
from the time Bryant opened until I retired, then I was principal of one or the other.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And I appreciated that nice gesture. I don't know if it's deserving, but it was nice.
It's deserving. I'll tell you, part of what makes that story to me sort of special is that I learned of that at a St. Luke's home football game last year, because that was the first year that they had done that trophy, okay? And last year was Mr. Estle's first year here. And I learned it at the home football game because Mr. Estle is the one that told me that that was happening. And so as he told me, I said, well, wait a minute, why are you here? You should be at that game to give away that trophy for the first time. And he said, my loyalty now is to St. Luke's, not to anybody else. And so this is where I need to be. I don't think I've told that story before, but I was impressed by that. I really was. That was something.
You're at a special place.
You are.
That's
Well, you
where
know
I was
that already,
born.
right?
It's part of the family now.
Yeah, for sure. So tell us about what the SGA has got going on this year.
Well, we've started off by getting a coffee shop. We call it the Wildcat Fiend. So
Right.
it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Our first project is to raise enough money to buy picnic tables around the school, and our goal is to buy 5 now. I'm gonna go all around the school.
Have you picked out locations already for these picnic tables?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
So
nice.
it's gonna be in the quad, a couple in the high school area, and there's a special place that everyone hangs out around. So we'll put a picnic table there. It's gonna be for students to eat lunch at when it's like nice outside, and then for teachers to have outside the classroom. So that's been popular, and it'll be a great way to do that. And we've opened this morning to raise money for this Good Day, and I got a check for you. It's $137 of profit that we made today.
That's awesome.
So it's our money from the coffee shop.
Thank you
Yes,
very
sir.
much. I'll tell you, it is it's an unusual occurrence when you have a student individually who will make a contribution to an annual fund of the school. It happens, but it doesn't happen very often. I've had it happen a few times. I know we've had a few students today who've made contributions. This is the first time that I've ever been in receipt of a check from student government
Yes, sir.
who executed a fundraising project for the purpose of making a contribution to the annual campaign.
Yes, sir.
So I really appreciate that. Thank you, and thank you to the SGA for that.
No,
And the
no
gift
problem.
of the picnic tables, that's tremendous, because with COVID and what we've been going through, and not the use of the dining hall, this is going to be real nice, because our students are used to eating outdoors. We just don't have enough of places always for them to eat. So instead of sitting on the sidewalks, there will be some tables. So that's a tremendous gift.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that.
I mean, that's one of our first projects, and there's going to be many coming after.
Look, I also like the idea, you've probably heard me say this once or twice. I know that faculty and others have heard me say this more than once. I prefer problem solvers
Right.
to problem finders.
Right.
Because there's an overabundance of problem finders in the world,
Yes.
and there's a shortage of problem solvers, right?
Right.
So someone that comes to me and tells me something that needs to be fixed, that's fine. I got plenty of people that can do that, right? I need the person that comes and says, here's a problem that needs to be fixed, and here's how I propose to solve it. What you have done for your leadership with the SGA, anybody could have come and said, we need more picnic tables to be able to sit outside and eat lunch.
Right.
Terrific. How are you going to do that? Well, I don't know that. I just need to make sure that somebody knows what the problem is. You and your organization not only sort of came up with the problem, but you came up with the solution, right?
Yeah.
There's a way that we could fix this. Here's what we're going to do, and then you did it. So that's fantastic.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's not just me. It's all 16 members that they've all put their time into it. I mean, it's been a lot of time getting the coffee shop going. and now we're able to do projects. We're gonna do a movie night for Christmas, hopefully in the
Nice.
future. There's a lot of things we got planned for this year. So, and we thank the students for the support too. I mean, without the students, we won't be able to make these things going around the school.
Our
So-
student government is so active. It's been very impressive. All the years of being in education, being at schools, I can say this is one of the best units that I've witnessed along the way. You always have something going on.
Yes, sir.
And everyone puts in their part. You don't have anyone slacking out there. So it's just been great to watch y'all.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate that. Hopefully, we'll have many more things going for the school.
I'm sure you will. So I want to follow up real quick on something. This check, the amount of this check is $137.
Right.
And you said that that was your profits
Yes, sir.
from one day
Yes, sir.
of operating your cafe, which only is open from what, 7:30 until 8 o'clock?
Yeah, 7:35 to 8 o'clock, which is about 25 minutes.
Okay.
And we gave out free hot chocolate today, and I mean, we had a lot of students also donate like $1 or $2 for this cause as well. So
Nice.
it's been everyone that came together to get this money for the school. So that's why we're all a family here.
That's great. Really, really great. So tomorrow we have an assembly for the students that are in the high school.
Right.
That the title of it, when it shows up on the school calendar, I think it says fish assembly.
Right. Yes, sir.
Right? But it actually isn't to talk about fish, like the kind of fish that you'd see in water.
Yes, sir.
Right? Fish is an acronym. It's an abbreviation. It stands for something else. So talk to us a little bit about fish and the role that the student government is playing this year in trying to help us introduce this fish idea.
Yes, sir. So fish has been also our side project. We have 4. It's a philosophy, and it has 4 different. I don't know how to phrase it. 4 different
Tenets,
words.
right?
Yeah.
Or points.
Yes, sir. I think the first one is be there. You got to be there for your family, at school. You got to be there at class. The second one is going to be choose your attitude. So, I mean, everyone has a chance to choose their attitude, and if we choose our attitudes, we'll all be happier, I guess. You got to fake it till you make it. And the third one is make their day. So it's a gesture for people to do something nice, like leave a note for a teacher, or maybe buy a coffee for a student. We have a lot of people do that. Buy a coffee for their friends, or a chicken biscuit,
Right.
anything like that. And then the last one, most important, is play. And if you do all these 3 things, play just comes along with it. Because if you're happy, if you're making other people's day, I mean, play is just what you get, and it's the effect of all those 3 things of being there, making people's day, and choosing your attitude.
You know what's interesting? You keep using the term family. You've used that several times here. If you take the fish philosophy, and then you take family, and that's who we want to be at St. Luke's. We want to be family.
Right.
That is what you do in family. That is what it's all about. Making each other's day, choosing the attitude, having that positive atmosphere around. So it all ties together.
I mean, never thought about it that way, but that does make sense.
It's true, right? If you know anything about the background for fish, it started in Seattle. There's a famous fish market in Seattle, and it's famous mostly because people are familiar, have seen video clips where the fishmongers that are there, they throw fish sort of all the way across the way, and tourists will show up just to see people throwing these fish.
Right.
And what was observed was that this group of people that was there seemed to always just be having a great time and always be positive. And so there were some writers that pursued that a little bit to find out what was going on. And what came out of those conversations was this fish program, because it seemed like there was a way of looking at that job and at that location and environment and so forth, where people might feel like there were good reasons not to be all that excited, and yet these seem to be some of the happiest people consistently on a daily basis that the writers had encountered before, and they began to ask why. And like I said, what came out of it were sort of those 4 points, that what they were doing there were those 4 things, and that's what made that successful.
I mean, I don't know if you would guess this, but the Wildcat Fiend has done something similar.
I'm not surprised.
So each customer that buys a chicken biscuit, they would have to step behind a line, and we would throw the chicken biscuit to them. And if it falls, we would give them another one. So I mean, that's not my idea. It was actually one of our members, Garrett.
Okay.
He told me about it this morning, and we just started doing it. It brought a different atmosphere, and it was fun.
That's great.
Yep. I mean, for us to throw it and for the customers to catch it. So.
And listen, it sounds in some ways like it's obvious that those four things, well, sure, it's easy to say those things. The fact is, if you actually try to do them,
right,
it is remarkable the kind of transformation that it can have on not just your day, but then the day that the people around you have. And if they do it too, right, what's interesting or what's great about doing it in an environment like ours is that everybody buys in, even just a little bit at first, right? And you begin to see the effect that it has. It really is a snowball. And I think we're getting to the point now where a lot of folks are beginning to get it, right?
Yes, sir.
You're working on the lower campus also with this?
Not yet, but we do have plans of actually opening, well, I wouldn't say a coffee shop, but maybe doing a chicken biscuit day for the lower school, and maybe one Friday a week. No, maybe once a semester or once a quarter for us to go over there and get our SGA members to meet the lower kids and have that interaction with the lower school.
And listen, those parents come through that carpool line, right? I don't know how many second graders have cash in their pockets, but the parents, they do.
Yeah.
Right? And so maybe the trick is that you stand there and you try to sell those to the parents. They'll buy
I
them.
want to throw them. Yeah,
I mean, we'll always find a way,
You're fine.
We'll always find a way to have fun.
So it's a little bit early to be giving advice to the next group because you're a graduating senior.
Right, yes,
okay. But if you were to be asked right now, what advice would you have to the leadership for the SGA next year? What do you think that advice would be? What would you pass on to them?
I actually have a good one. I mean, my goal was to set a precedent for the future SGA presidents, but the most important thing is being committed. And I mean, the coffee shop was probably a crazy idea when I brought it to you at the beginning, but after we broke it down and I stayed consistent, it took 4 months to actually get it going. If you work for something, you'll get it done. So any idea that sounds crazy, I think it'd be easy if you have a group or a team that helps you and you break it down. So commitment is one of the most important things, and that's advice for all the future SGA presidents.
Listen, I agree with what you just said, and I'll add something to that that I've been impressed with you, and that is flexibility, right? Because if you look at the idea that you first brought to me and all the components of that idea, and then you look at what you're actually doing right now, they're sort of very different things.
Yeah, totally different.
Okay? If you were not willing to be flexible, it probably would have ended with that very first meeting, right? Because pulling that off was going to be pretty tough, and there were a lot of obstacles.
Right.
But to your credit, you were willing to be flexible and say, no, it doesn't have to be this exact idea. There's ways that we could change, and maybe we need to adjust this. I hadn't thought about that, and we've got this consideration, so that there's now, a cafe that is working, that students enjoy going to, that's generating profits.
Yes, sir.
That could have just been a non-starter, and it wasn't because you were willing to be flexible.
And I want to say thank you for both letting us. I mean, y'all say yes and actually helping us get through. I mean, you're letting students, I mean, with the coffee shop get business experience and actually being able to do something on their own. Also with the coffee shop, we didn't have any help from the administration because they wanted us to get this going as a team and as students, and we learned a lot from our mistakes because I mean we made a lot of mistakes at the beginning. So
I think I can speak for both of us as administrators. You want to see your students take the lead.
Right.
You want to see your students involved, but when you turn something over or you're going to put an idea at your school fish, you let the students drive it, and it'll be successful. But we're there as support.
listen, it's a great point, and Mr. Estle and I have talked about our experiences as educators, and we have, I think, a very similar outlook, just in respect of what the job is and what the purpose is and who we're here for and what that looks like. I know that I had a conversation with someone earlier this year about the students being involved with working the sound and light at performances that we had in our theater, and the conversation sort of exposed a fundamental difference in the outlook. I said, this is a school, and the purpose of the school, the reason that we're here, is to help students grow and develop. So I realized that if we push the students away from the soundboard or away from the light controls, and we had someone who was paid to come in and do it, that there would be fewer problems maybe, or fewer mistakes. But that would completely miss the point of what we're here to do, which is for them to be the ones that problem solve, that figure it out, that respond to an issue, and they didn't see it that way, and that's fine. We agreed to disagree. But
we also know, we'll see where the students, they embrace that responsibility.
Yep.
Take a lot of pride in it. Hey, this is our job, and we're going to shine in this. We're going to make St. Luke's look the best.
Right. Yes,
So
sir.
we fully agree on that.
Well, you've done that with the cafe. I mean, I can tell you that it is a pleasure when I show up and am reminded that this morning is going to be a cafe day, because there is such a great excitement that happens. And of course, where my office is located is right across from the cafeteria, so I get to see the students coming in and out, and everybody congregating and sort of enjoying each other's company. It is a fantastic way to start the days, and I appreciate that you've taken that project, led it to the point where it could actually happen, and now are leading it to see it through to be successful.
Yes, sir. I mean, it wasn't just me. We had, as part of the SGA team, I mean, everyone came together to get one project together, and we did it. So family, yes, sir.
Family. That's right. Well, Mo, thank you very much for telling us about Fish and for your leadership. As a student, we're going to miss you when you're not here.
I'll always be back.
Well, hey, listen, after when college is done and you get your degree, if you want to come back and teach, I'm certain that we will have a spot for you. So,
yes, sir. Might be a cross-country assistant coach. We'll see.
Sounds great. I'm sure that Coach Russell will be happy to have an assistant.
I could see Mohammed running the whole show one day.
Maybe so, right? That'd be okay too.
That'd be okay.
That'd be all right too.
Never know. Well, I appreciate y'all having you. It means a lot, being with y'all on this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Mo.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Estle, thank you
Yes, sir.
for your good work.
Appreciate
And we'll be back at the top of the next hour with our next guest. Go Wildcats.
Go Wildcats.
Go Wildcats.